Hello, today we are going to be doing my review of Jasmine by Bharati Mukherjee. So, Jasmine is the story of a young woman born in India, in a village in India, and her eventual immigration to the United States. I've had to read this book twice for two different classes, and written two different papers about it. Let me start by saying I don't particularly enjoy this book as a novel. I didn't really find it to be exciting. I didn't like any of the characters a whole lot. And I think I gave it 2 stars on Goodreads. So if you're just here for a kind of like a rating, that's it. But 2 stars. As a novel, I didn't like it. However, I've written my papers about it because it is packed with interesting ideas about what it means to be a woman and building one's own identity and the experience of immigrants as you come into a country and have to kind of rebuild your identity based on, fighting with tradition versus the world you live in now. And because of those things, it's really interesting and worth talking about. And I think, if you're interested, it's worth reading because it does have a lot of very interesting ideas in it. Essentially, Jasmine, and this isn't giving away spoilers, the book's told it's kind of as a flashback and out of order. So you jump around a lot between her growing up, her in America, and then the different places she's been in America, as well as her life as like a married woman and whatnot. And one of the main parts of the novel is that she changes her name several times. She's born Jyoti, I think. I'm probably butchering that, but it's Jyoti. And then she becomes Jasmine, and then Jace, and then Jane. And my favorite one and the most interesting part is when she goes by Kali, like the goddess. There are a lot of ums in this video, I apologize. This book, I've milked it so dry for all of these papers that now when I have to sit down and talk about it again, my mind is resisting. So yeah, it's a very interesting story in that she does strive to create a new person after all the setbacks she experiences. I don't think that the author accomplishes that fully. The character never seemed to really change in my mind. They were superficial changes. And maybe that's because she's telling the story as the most current iteration of herself. So maybe that's just a result of her thinking back on these events as the person she is now. And I don't know if that's intentional or not. There's also a lot of interesting things about what it means to be a woman in this book, especially a woman that comes from a culture like Indian culture, and balancing the different roles that you're supposed to play, both with your own desires and then sometimes when you leave that culture and you come to a place where the expectations are different, what that means. I'm sure any story of when I say a woman immigrating from India to America, you're going to understand that there are going to be issues like that. I'm not saying anything about either country. I'm just saying that anytime someone immigrates from one country to another, you're going to see kind of culture clashes. So anyway, if you're interested at all in these kind of topics, I highly suggest going out and reading this. If you're just looking for a good novel or something highly readable, I would not go get this. It's not written in a particularly dense or difficult style. I didn't find it interesting, and like I said, I didn't really enjoy any of the characters, and I didn't see the growth of Jasmine as much as I'm told that is in here, which could be my feeling or possibly the author's. That would be for you to decide. But let's see if I can pick a really good passage. That's not a good one. Here we go. Here's a good one. And again, not a spoiler, this is in chapter 4 of the book, but chronologically this happens like years into her life. near the end of her story arc. So, like I said, the book's completely out of order. Bud calls me Jane. Me Bud, you Jane. I didn't get it at first. He kids. Calamity Jane. Jane is in Jane Russell. Not Jane as in Plain Jane. But Plain Jane is all I want to be. Plain Jane is a role, like any other. My genuine foreignness frightens him. I don't hold that against him. It frightens me too. So that's like a little excerpt from Jasmine. So anyway, like I said, 2 out of 5 stars. There are reasons to read this. However, it's not a novel that I particularly enjoy, although I have read it multiple times and written about it. So, as always, I will talk to you later. Good reading and have a happy life.